Welcome to the Elevate podcast, where we talk to real-world business owners who have experienced the trials and tribulations of entrepreneurship. Our mission is to provide practical advice and insights that will help your business succeed in today's environment. Hi everyone, I'm Kush Birdi. I'm the co-founder and managing partner of Birdi & Co. Today on the Elevate podcast, I'm sat with Craig Stables, who is the founder and former owner of NoodleNow. He is an investor and multi-successful entrepreneur, and we're going to be exploring his experience as a child entertainer. We're going to be talking about his experience of selling NoodleNow to KidsKonnect and how Birdi & Co. helped with that process. And in particular, we're going to be talking about how to find the right buyer when you're selling your business and how to manage not just the legal process, but the emotional side of selling your business, as well as keeping the business afloat and growing at the same time. I hope you enjoy it.
Welcome everyone to this episode of the Elevate podcast. I'm very delighted to welcome my guest, Craig Stables, today. Craig has travelled all the way from Blackpool to see me today, so I'm really grateful. Craig is a multi-talented entrepreneur who started his journey in children's entertainment and a while ago set up NoodleNow, which is an online education e-learning platform. More recently, Craig sold NoodleNow, his business, to KidsKonnect, which is an education software platform too. And I'm really delighted to have him here today. We're going to be delving into a bit about his life experience, entrepreneurial experience, and then we're going to be delving into the sale of his business as well. So without further ado, welcoming Craig Stables. Craig, thanks so much for being here today.
Nice to be here.
Hope the journey was okay?
It was okay. It wasn't too bad. It's the trains.
Yeah, it's the trains. Yeah, okay,
yeah,
good.
Great to be here.
Yeah, great to be here. So I think let's just start light, really. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your background, how you started out with your entrepreneurial journey. I think the listeners will generally be, business owners, other clients of ours, and I'd love to hear about your story.
Yeah, I suppose it all started when I was maybe 13 years of age. Got the first job, and from then, always been self-employed, entrepreneurial. Various businesses in the past, cleaning businesses, property businesses, other small businesses. But my main focus, my passion, has always been the entertainment industry. I had an entertainment agency nationwide, and we looked after hundreds of acts across the country, bands, DJs, children's entertainers, magicians. It was a really fun industry to be in. I personally entertained as well for over 23 years at well-known footballers and golfing legends, celebrity weddings, and the children's entertainment was huge. All across the world. It took me across the world. It was amazing. But primarily, the majority of functions were on the Fylde coast, sunny Blackpool. But maybe 5 years ago, I sold the entertainment agency and all the legs, the various dance floor section, the bouncy castle section, the agency itself, to really work on and focus 100% on NoodleNow, which was obviously selling the entertainment. It was very mixed emotions, sad, happy, mixed emotions, but the main focus had to be on NoodleNow because it was doing so well.
Sure. And so the entertainment business and the agency, that's quite a diverse business. So it's quite a very broad service. So how did you get into that? Was it just like a natural evolution of the business, or based on demand, or was it a strategy? Like, it'd be good to know about that.
Yeah, the entertainment was obviously my main focus. I loved it. I loved entertaining, DJing, comedy, children's entertainment, but it was a very hard industry to be in. Many people in the industry, and in and out of ballparks and play areas and restaurants. That there was, I could see years ago there was a lack of training. So in all honesty, NoodleNow was always about hospitality, customer service, health and safety, food safety and hygiene. And in the hospitality industry, the turnover of staff is huge. So I understand why people didn't always get trained. But then soon after that, our course writer, our head course writer, amazing lady, and she She had an early years background, so I think it progressed naturally into the early years sector, sorry, and then entertainment got left behind.
Yeah, it sounds great. It sounds really, really interesting. And I mean, just having worked with you, I can see that you're a very passionate, energetic individual, and that shines through. And no doubt is probably a major factor in the success that you've built over the years. But I just want to come back a little bit, if that's okay. So, I mean, before you got into business at all, why don't you tell me about maybe like a bit about childhood before you went into business and what actually made you go into business and entrepreneurship?
Yeah, of course. I born and bred in Blackpool. Enjoyed my childhood immensely. It was amazing. I think the fact that we were going to all these parties, and I have a younger sister, and the entertainer was doing all her parties. I loved that. That's what I wanted to do. Went to an amazing school, Lytham St Anne's, King Edward's, the 7th school, which was amazing. Great childhood there. But I think from an early age, my father had always said, try and work for yourself. Don't work for people. Do your own thing if you're able to do that. And fortunately, I was. And maybe at 16, I did my first children's party, and it evolved from there. I loved my childhood, and I think the fact that I was doing all these children's parties and making thousands of children, smile and laugh, that was important to me.
Yeah, that's really cool, and it's good to kind of understand the influence there at an early stage in your life, which has obviously been important for you. Would you say that entrepreneurship and business skills have come naturally to you, or has it been a difficult process in building those skills, or how would you describe that experience?
Yeah, I think entrepreneurship. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, you're going to be an entrepreneur. If you're going to work for yourself and run businesses, that's what you're going to do. I don't think either's better or worse. I just think it's what you're going to do in the future. I think you do need to learn facts. You do need to. I went to university for management and business studies. You do need to learn, but I really do think majority of entrepreneurs learn on the job. They just pick it up. It just comes naturally. You can't be a master of everything, but I think you need in business to know many things.
Yeah, really interesting. And over the time that I've been involved with Birdi & Co. and launched that business, it's although it's a law firm, it's a business as well. So 100%. It's been a massive learning curve as well, which has been really enjoyable. So it's about enjoying the journey, I think, as well.
It is. And working hard.
Yeah, working hard. Ultimately, yeah. So okay, so being in the kind of entertainment business, etc., and specifically children's entertainment, what's it like being a children's entertainer?
It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing. It's fun. It's maybe changed over the past 20, 25 years whilst I was doing it. I think 10-year-olds 25 years ago were slightly different to 10-year-olds now with social media, with phones, with everything. Everything's changed. But to make children laugh and smile and to give them joy at children's parties, I've just loved it.
Oh, that's really cool. And so you must have some really great stories from your time as well of being an entertainer. And I mean, is there a particular memorable moment that stands out? Would you say, or
no? We were covering 100 parties a week. It was just crazy, and so many entertainers that we had, and so many peripheral entertainment we put on as well. No, there's thousands of stories, but it's all very positive and great.
Okay, amazing. So you moved on from that business to so it sounds like you've actually set up NoodleNow before moving on from that business. So there's some overlap there.
Yeah, there was a transition.
So I'm really interested to know about that transition. So you were running the agency, and then you thought of an idea to set up NoodleNow. Now, was that sparked by anything specific, like you saw a gap in the market, or there was a problem that you experienced in the sector and you thought, well, this needs to be resolved? And how did that happen?
Yeah, I think the transition was very fade in, fade out. I think that's probably the best way of doing business as well. Starting something as you're finishing something off. There wasn't any light bulb moment. There was a market there that was missing for courses, e-learning courses, to be grouped together and sold as a package. Nobody was doing that. Obviously, a lot of research was done, but it was one of those things that there might be an idea here. Let's just go with it, and that's very risk-taking, entrepreneurial, and I think it's a gut feeling. Not every gut feeling works, obviously, and not everyone comes off. But this one, there was a massive market there.
Okay, interesting. And I suppose, when was there a particular point, or when was that point where you really thought, wow, this could be big?
Yeah, there was. Yeah, maybe 2.5 years in, we'd produced a lot of courses. The turnover was doing quite well, and then we needed to really start, get a new staff set together and really push this, because the sooner you do it, and we did it just before COVID. I gave up entertaining in the November before COVID, which was coincidental.
Yeah.
But it worked. It happened for a reason.
Yeah, I suppose timing is important, isn't it?
Right place, right time.
Okay, good. So then you obviously decided to, well, you managed to scale it really, which is great. So, I mean, do you want to just tell the audience a little bit about the business in terms of the product and the service, effectively what it is? And you talked about bundling of courses, etc., and what that entails.
Yeah, of course. For me, we had to get the right staff in first. It's about doing something professionally. It's about doing something to the best of your ability. So the staff, very important. I pulled in an old DJ friend of mine that was a fabulous salesperson. We took the manager of the Imperial Hotel in Blackpool. She came on and managed the office. The surroundings are important as well. We bought an old bakery, and we put a mez floor in it, and carpet and toilets and a kitchen. It was an amazing journey, and that's all part of the journey. And then we were writing courses, more and more courses specific for early years, and when we got to about 30 courses, we started really selling this business. And there was a gap in the market. There was a niche there, and people wanted high quality content for low prices. And that's how it rolled. And it snowballed, and word of mouth, and obviously marketing and sales, but really, really word of mouth, getting the word out there to every single nursery in the UK.
Yeah, that's amazing. And across multiple countries as well?
Yes. When some couples had a nursery in London, and they also had a nursery in Dubai. So as long as they're English-speaking nurseries abroad, and they all follow the EYFS, everybody will use NoodleNow. So yeah, Dubai to China to South Africa to Saudi Arabia to Tenerife. It's been amazing. Yeah,
Really great story, actually. And so as the business started to, I guess, kick off and grow, and demand was picking up, how did you cope with that demand? I guess if it's an online course, it's very easy to supply, or how does that work?
Yeah, I suppose when you've written the course, when you've produced the course, you can then mass that out as many times as you want.
It's more about the sales aspect of it.
It was, yeah, and that was exciting. It wasn't daunting. It was just, let's sell more. It was great, and the snowball effect did happen with it. So within 6 months, furlough during COVID, obviously an awful time, but furlough did help e-learning businesses, because everybody did courses and still got paid. So that helped. And then it snowballed. And then I think the fact that we were producing one of the best products out there, content-wise, early years writing for early years, so the content was second to none. They have to do these courses, so they had to really go with NoodleNow.
Yeah, that's so cool. And your role in the business. So my understanding is that you you were heavily involved in the sales side of it, and a part you really enjoy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think when you're an entrepreneur, you clean the office in the morning, and you make sure that everything's right. You turn the heating on, and then you sell, and you do the banking as well, and you do the invoicing, and you look after the staff, and you look after the IT and the website. It's an overall. You oversee everything, which is still really exciting because it has to be done that way. I think you know you have to do everything when you run your own business. Obviously, you get people in to help and professionals in to help, but overall, you're doing everything.
Yeah.
But that's good.
No, really good.
That's exciting.
Really good, really good. And clearly, it's something that sparks your interest,
Yeah.
and is something you're passionate about,
Yeah,
which
very much.
I have no doubt, as I say before, that contributed to the massive success of the business. So, I mean, on that point, would you say what would you say are the main factors in the success of NoodleNow? Looking back at things.
Yeah, professionalism. I think that's very important. Customer service is second to none. If you're supplying a good customer service these days, that really does help. Making sure you do things on time when you say they're going to be done, and if you do anything wrong as well, and things do go wrong, that's life. Just apologise.
Yeah.
Just say we're sorry for that. I think the main thing is overseeing everything with professional and maybe a touch of OCD. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's going over and above rather than just doing the I guess minimum requirements is always going to go very, very far. And you mentioned if things go wrong, so that brings me on to my next point, which was what kind of challenges did you face when you were building NoodleNow?
Yeah.
If there were any, I'm sure there were.
Yeah, the challenges and obviously successes as well. I think challenges for us was to make sure we got the right team and make sure it all rolled perfectly, and we continued to progress. There are challenges, that's life, but with challenges comes success as well, and we needed to make sure that we got multiple setting companies on as well. It's great to have 100 individual settings. There's no better or worse. It's fabulous to have those 100 individuals, but it's also fabulous to have one company that's got 100 settings. And I think another success as well, and it's also a challenge, but to increase year on year, increase turnover. I think that's really challenging to do in this day and age. But it's a success as well. And it's important to keep moving, keep progressing, and always bigger picture and looking to the future.
Yeah, no, really good. And is sales important to that? So I'm a big fan of just sales skills and marketing skills generally, because I believe that obviously it's critical to every business, whether you're a law firm,
Correct,
whether you're NoodleNow or any type of business. And I think sometimes, especially in our legal sector, sales can sometimes have like a negative connotation.
Yeah.
What's your view on sales as a skill or as a?
Yeah, it's, I suppose without the courses, NoodleNow wouldn't you wouldn't be able to sell. But if you've got the courses and if you understand the lawyers, what you have to do, if you know that the main thing in any business is sales. I think I'm passionate about it. If you don't sell it, you don't make any money. I think that's really important. I don't know if it's it's the most important thing, but to me it is. Everybody has their own skill set, and mine is sales.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, I guess sales is obviously providing a solution to a customer. Sales doesn't, in my opinion, sales is not kind of giving someone a solution that they don't need. That's obviously different. And I think sometimes the word selling,
Yes,
people do have those maybe connotations with it. Maybe in our sector, I'm not sure. Maybe it's not limited to that, I'm sure. But that's what we're talking about here, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really interesting.
We don't want to push. We don't want to be a pushy salesperson.
Yeah, exactly.
If somebody needs something, they need it, and if you can provide that cheaper, quicker, better quality than anybody else, that's the world.
Yeah, and from a customer's perspective, sometimes it's you don't know what you don't know.
No.
and giving that information to a customer is extremely valuable if the solution matches. So yeah, great.
I agree.
Okay then, so looking back on your journey of NoodleNow, would you say maybe like one or two things that you would have done differently looking back now?
Yes. Yeah. Hindsight.
What kind of things?
Amazing. I think the main thing with the sale that obviously we experienced personally, was everything needs to be as watertight as possible. So maybe to work with different people, professional people that do things day in, day out. I think that would have been something that I would have done in the past, maybe accountancy wise, and other legal aspects. But that's hindsight. That happens. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. But I do believe watertight. Everything needs to be all the ducks in a row.
But how do you manage that as a business owner? Because it occurs to me as a business owner that sometimes these things, you're focused on the sales, you're focused on the building courses, you're focused on the people management side of things,
Yep.
maybe HR, these kinds of things,
Yep.
and often the watertightness
Correct.
of legals, etc., can sometimes fall down the pecking order in terms of priority.
They can.
So how do you make sure you're keeping on top of those things, in your opinion?
I think you do. I think you need more professionals and to advisors. I think we need those from the start. Obviously, what I've learned is, and that's the main thing that I've learned, the next business I do, it will start with people that I've used in the past on this journey earlier. I will start with those people earlier.
Okay, yeah, I think that's really good advice. And obviously something I'd recommend too.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so let's move on then to more about the sales process that you've recently undergone.
Okay.
So you recently sold NoodleNow
Yes.
to KidsKonnect, and which is a software provider.
Yep.
And I think it's a great sale for you, and I know how happy and satisfied you are with it. So can we just talk about what initially was the driver of your decision to sell, and how that came about?
Yeah. Many years ago, an old wise man said to me, and I remember it very well, give things 8 or 9 years and then move on to the next project. And I've remembered that from maybe when I was 16, 17. And I had done that with the entertainment. Every 2-3 years, we were bringing a new sector in, the dance floors, the costume characters, the fate equipment, etc. So that was always progressing and growing. And then I think that's the same with NoodleNow. I'd done it for 9 or 10 years. It was always the vision: 9-10 years, sell, move on to something else. If of course it was able to sell, if it had been successful. But yeah, you've got to keep moving forward. So 8 to 9 years, go on to something else. I think.
Yeah. So it was always part of the plan, effectively.
It was the plan. Yeah.
Yeah, really interesting. And I guess over the 9-10 years that you ran and built NoodleNow, obviously, then of course there must be an emotional attachment to the business. So how do you manage that and your logical decision of 9-10 years out? So did that have an effect on you at all? As in, when you were deciding originally to sell it?
Very much. Yeah, it was an emotional decision. But I also wanted a family. So that was partly the reason why I sold NoodleNow as well. I don't think I could spend every hour in NoodleNow. There has to be a happy medium. So for me to sell NoodleNow, to start and to add to the family that I have, was the right decision for me.
Okay. And KidsKonnect, obviously, I've bought, and you're still involved with NoodleNow for the time being. So what's your ongoing involvement like?
Yeah, that was obviously, you guys helped with those issues, for the staff to stay on, and that was I always wanted the staff to stay on with whoever bought NoodleNow, and I think from an early stage with KidsKonnect, meeting Peter Bars, the CEO of KidsKonnect, it was a fair business. They seemed very fair. Obviously, it's scary sell. Things don't always work. Some sales, fall through and fail. But this one, throughout the process, it just got more and more positive that they were going to buy, and Birdi and Co helped very much with keeping the staff and leasing the building. I kept the building that my company owned, and yeah, I think there was lots of various parts to the sale, but it was the right time. It was the right time.
Yeah. Okay. And so what's in store for the future of NoodleNow in the hands of KidsKonnect? It's very exciting.
Exciting. There's going to be change, which is great. It's progressing, and KidsKonnect is such a massive company with maybe 14, 15 acquisitions in the past few years. So put it all together, NoodleNow is part of a really great family there. I'm staying for another 6 to 12 months, but I don't know what the future is going to hold. But I think I'm liking the journey, the next chapter of the journey, and staying with KidsKonnect and seeing what improvements NoodleNow can do.
What was it like on, the day of the sale and the day after when you went into the office for the first time? What was it like? What was the feeling?
I don't know. Yeah, it was strange. I'd never worked for anybody, so one day we're on the phone. And it's massive celebrations and a little party in the office, and it was amazing. And then the day after, you're in there at 7:30 and you're on payroll. This is strange.
Could you sleep that night? The night before? Or?
No, I didn't know. I've not slept many nights. Hence the slightly croaky voice. It's been an amazing 3 weeks. It really has. And even KidsKonnect, the staff have been over from Almere near Amsterdam. They're a Dutch company, and it's just been amazing. They've made us feel so special. Not many people like change. It's a fact, and not much has changed at the moment. And things will change, but they're so professional about it, and that they care, which is really important. But yeah, it was a strange and an amazing 24 hours.
That is a really cool story. And I think the beauty of it, it's such a beautiful story because obviously the sale was a successful sale, etc. But it's I think the synergies between
massive
you and the buyers and the businesses, it's just so positive that it makes it even more great.
Yeah, I think we liked each other, which was really good. It was it was personal as well. It was we saw each other a lot. The amount of teams, the amount that we spoke on the phone and in person. I think, plus NoodleNow is a great product. So KidsKonnect wanted NoodleNow, and I wanted to sell. So the alignment was perfect.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, so let's move on to more of maybe the experience of the legal process, etc. So Birdi and Co represented you. I mean, what made you decide to work with Birdi and Co?
Recommendation. It was recommendation. We're in a small town in the northwest of England, and you're in the big city, and people told me about you. I'd sold small businesses before and various projects, but nothing on this scale. The due diligence process. It's hard. It's deep. It was quite intrusive, quite personal. So I need a firm like Birdi and Co to help with that, and recommendations are always the best. Obviously, I did my homework and looked up, but it was a case that you obviously knew what you were doing, and you were in this sector selling various nurseries previously, and obviously a lot more in the future. But I think this was a good synergy with each other as well.
Yeah, completely. And what was your experience of working with Birdi and Co?
Amazing. I never experienced anything like it. If you're selling a business, the due diligence, just expect nothing that you've ever known before. sleepless nights, as we both had. But I needed, personally, I needed Birdie and Co. massively. I couldn't have done it without you guys.
Okay.
Amazing.
So you're glad that you chose to work with us then. That's good.
Very glad. Yeah. It's been, hence we're here.
Yeah, absolutely. And so during the due diligence process, obviously, we understand from many of the clients that we act for that it is, intrusive. And were you expecting that or not?
No, I was probably a bit naive in the past, selling various smaller businesses with no due diligence, just a few questions, and residential and commercial property. Again, very little due diligence. And then we go into this 4 to 5 month process that just consumes your life whilst trying to run the business. Because that's really important. We're taking on this due diligence, which is a full-time job in itself, and the turnover has still got to be increasing with the business. Hence, that's what the valuation is based on. So no, I was not expecting anything like it. I didn't like it. It wasn't a hate kind of thing, but I didn't like it. But I know if I was to do it again, of course, when I work with you guys again, it would be different, and I would make it easier for myself.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's, something that a lot of clients realize during the process, but you don't realize it leading up to it beforehand. And so your feedback there is going to be so valuable to many people.
Yeah.
And, even when we were talking about things like warranties and indemnities and disclosure, these are all new concepts to you, right? And I mean, to be honest, you picked them up very quickly, and I know that you quite like learning about it.
Yeah. I think if I don't really understand something that's about me and that I'm participating in, I think maybe that night I don't sleep. I just learn about warranties, which obviously I knew what a warranty was, but I didn't know to what degree warranties were, or disclosure, the disclosure letters and the SPA. It's mind blowing. But to learn about that, and I think that's something that I'd like to do in the future. Maybe help businesses understand that before they go down your process, not taking anything away from obviously what anybody does professional wise, but just to help them understand it for a few weeks before they go down that process, because it's challenging.
Yeah, it is challenging. And we don't get that many clients that are actively educating themselves during the sales process, which is really refreshing for us. It's still really enjoyable working with you. So thanks for your patience.
Likewise.
And so, okay, for anyone who is actually looking to sell their business, either now or in a few years' time, or any time in the future, what advice would you give to them?
Make sure it's the right buyer. As long as you've got the buyer, because people, they go through this process, as we had a previous buyer, not naming any names, that didn't work, and then going through the process again was hard. So I think make sure that the buyer is the right buyer, and you want to sell to that person or that company. But do homework first. Spend a good 2 months out of the business. Take a couple of steps back, work with people that know exactly what to do. But I think it's a very exciting time to sell a business, just as exciting to start up a business. I think.
Yeah, okay, amazing feedback there. So what have you been doing since the sale went through, other than your ongoing involvement?
Yeah. I still work with them. I still probably spend double the amount of time I'm supposed to, but that's just the nature of the beast, really. I've been relaxing more. I've been taking a step back because the 4 or 5 months that we were all involved in was hard. I've been travelling a little teeny bit over the past few weeks. We've got Christmas coming up, which is great. Maybe take a few more weeks relaxing, make sure that everybody's happy, family and friends, and then start again.
Yeah.
I don't know what. Any
specific plans? Oh, you don't know what? Yep.
No, I'd like to do maybe some consultancy work, or maybe start an investment business. More property, always property. But yeah, I think this obviously it was a great sale. it was great financially wise as well. So take a bit of time and really start a family as well. That's important to me.
Yeah, oh my God, very exciting. I look forward to hearing all the updates. And so you mentioned that you may wish to start an investment business, that kind of thing. Is that, investing in other companies? And if so, what type of companies are you interested in?
I would love to invest in different companies and bring hopefully a skill set to their door as well. As in what sector or what companies, anything really, as long as it's an exciting business with potential. It can be a flower shop, it can be a construction business, or legal.
Okay, interesting.
yeah.
We might have to have some words off air then. Completely. Okay, well, I mean, it's been amazing talking to you, and I thoroughly enjoyed this, and I can't wait to get this released, which we will shortly. And I think that we'll definitely need to think about an episode 2.
Without a doubt.
For sure.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
everyone needs to watch out for that.
Brilliant. It's been amazing chatting to you over the past few months, and obviously today. And we'll stay in touch.
Perfect. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for tuning into the Elevate podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on social media.